Can an animal really have only one cell? Some organisms have only one cell. A single-celled organisms, also called unicellular organisms, are not that different from an elephant. They carry on the same life processes that elephants do. They need food and energy. They reproduce so that their species will continue. A single-celled organism contains water. It takes in oxygen and rids its body of waste. Elephants function in the same way. Many single-celled organisms can be seen only through a microscope. These include amoebas, euglenas, and paramecia. Amoebas. Amoebas are found in ponds and rivers and on the surface of leaves in standing water. They may also live in tropical seas, moist soil, and in larger animals. Amoebas can vary in size, but many measure about 500 to 1,000 microns across. 1 micron is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. Amoebas change their shape as they move. Amoebas are jelly-like and filled with cytoplasm. The word amoeba means change, and that is just what they do. They change shape and move. To eat, they change shape and surround the food. They eat bacteria, single-celled organisms, algae, plant-like organisms that live in the water, and animal and plant cells. Amoebas reproduce by splitting in half, a process called fission. When an amoeba produces a new amoeba, the nucleus and the cell itself divide in two. The new amoeba is an exact copy of the original one. What's in the water? What is living in your local pond? Take a look. With the help of an adult, use a long-handled ladle or pail to get a small water sample. Put the sample in a white or glass dish. Look through a microscope. You will find several protists. Freshwater ponds provide the ideal conditions for small creatures to survive. There is water, food, and warmth from the sun near the surface. Remember, never go to a pond without an adult, and always wash your hands after touching pond water. A microscope reveals the creatures that live in the pond water. Yuck. Euglenas. Euglenas are like plants and animals combined. Like a plant, they have a chemical compound, substance made up of 2 or more elements, called chlorophyll. When in sunlight, euglenas, like green plants, use chlorophyll to make energy. In the darkness, euglenas get their own food and energy by eating small plants and animals, as animals do. Euglenas have small whipping tails that allow them to move in water. Euglenas are even smaller than amoebas. They measure 25 to 100 microns. They have tiny red eye spots in their cells. These spots react to light. They help euglenas move towards sunlight when they are in a green, scummy pond. Euglenas live in ponds where they feed on algae or other protists if there is no light. Paramecia. Paramecia live in ponds with green algae because that is their main food source. They are slipper-shaped animals with tiny hairs all around their cell membrane. The hairs, called cilia, allow them to move much like centipedes with their many legs. Paramecia reproduce through fission, just like amoebas. A paramecium has 2 nuclei, one large and one small one. When it reproduces, the smaller nucleus splits in half. One half travels to the far end of the paramecium. Then the larger nucleus splits and half moves to join the first, smaller split nucleus. The new large and new small nuclei remain together as the cell splits, and a new paramecium is formed. Parameciums, such as this one, eat, take in oxygen, and get rid of waste, just like humans. They measure 120 to 350 microns.